Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. And today's video, I am making some spring decor, wall decor, and shelf sitters. And my friend Cindy and Chris, her husband at CNC DIY Factory, make these gorgeous frames. And I will make sure to link their shop in my description. But they come with these little kickstands, like handmade little wood kickstand. So I think they're absolutely gorgeous, especially for making spring prints, florals, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, is working with some of these as well as some other things. And I hope you enjoy. Let me know what your favorite is. And don't forget to check out Chris and Cindy's website, CNC DIY Factory. All right, so the first project is going to be using one of Cindy and Chris's beautiful arched frames. They come with this double arch, but you can always take one out. And it comes with everything that you need, including the instructions on how to put it together and how to put the kickstand on, which I love. So even comes with a little photo there. So what we're going to do is, I have this beautiful swan print, and I wanted it to go ahead and go into this little frame. This is part of the back here, so you're going to be gluing these pieces in. And at first, when I first saw her website, I thought this was a little kit, because she makes little kits too with a snowman in it. And she said she gets that a lot, but it's actually the little kickstand. So you end up gluing that all together, and it makes a nice little stand so that you can sit it up by itself, or you can even lean it against something else. So it makes it nice. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to paint the actual border of the arch with my antiquing mix, and it's antiquing wax with a little bit of black paint and water. So I'm going to go ahead and stain all of the pieces, and then I'm going to let it dry really well. Typically, when you glue wood on wood, you want to keep the wood raw, but I figured my antiquing mixture doesn't have a whole lot of wax in it, so it should not resist it, I'm hoping. So far, so good. It hasn't come off, but just kind of keep a heads up. If you are going to be gluing, it's better to glue raw wood with raw wood. And so I'm going to go ahead and stain this, and then I do wipe it back just a tiny bit, but it's per your preference. If you like a dark stain, or if you want to paint it a color, you can do that as well. I love the versatility of that. And then what I'm going to do is, once I allow it to dry, I'm going to go ahead and paint the other side of the whole wood piece white, because I'm going to be decoupaging that swan onto the backboard. And then I do not seal the top of it, because I didn't want it to change the paper at all. I didn't want it to bubble or wrinkle, so I just kind of use the decoupage as a glue to put the base on there. And then once that was on there and dry, then I went ahead and glued the frame together. So I'm using my Fusion's Picket Fence. You can use whatever paint you have on hand. A lot of times people were asking me, why do I use my expensive Fusion paint for doing something that I'm going to be decoupaging over? Well, it's because I don't have anything else. And I am a retailer or stockist for Fusion, so I get it at wholesale. So it basically costs me not a whole lot to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my swan paper, and I'm going to cut out the frame for it. So I'm just using a pencil to mark where I need to cut. And then I will go ahead and use my Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel to glue that on. And I typically use Titebond wood glue. I had used some wood glue on some of them and then the Titebond thick glue on the others, and it really doesn't matter. It's both gonna work just fine. I did let that glue set up for about an hour before I continued on so that it wouldn't keep falling apart while I was trying to put it together. So you want to do one piece at a time, and then you just stick the other piece in, glue it down, and then let it sit. And I did let it sit overnight. Now the second project is going to be using a blank wood arch, and I bought these on Fair. And I'm going to go ahead and stain the back side of it, and then I'm going to flip it over, paint it white, and I'm going to be using my new release redesign garden bunny tails. And it's like a fabric decoupage paper, which I absolutely love because it's very forgiving. And this is super, super cute. I love this decoupage paper. The bunnies on it are just gorgeous. And so I hope you enjoy watching the rest of this come to life. And then we will get on to the third project. All right, so this third project, I'm going to be using another one of their frames, but this time I'm going to keep it with the double matte layer looking one. And this is the decoupage paper with the garden bunny tails again. And there's 3 different pieces of decoupage paper in the pack. You get 2 bunnies and these really pretty daisies in the field. And so I'm going to go ahead and do my white background again and let that dry, and then we will decoupage these flowers onto it. And I cut it in half because the framing that goes over the top will cover all of the rest of the white. So I didn't need to use as much of the decoupage paper, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put my coat down underneath and then go over the top of it to seal it down in there. Let that dry. Of course, I always use my heat gun to speed things up. And then I'm going to go in with my Fusion Chesler because this beautiful blue just goes really well with the colors in that decoupage paper. It's very, very dark, and so what I did was, and I forgot to tape this part, but at the very end, when everything's glued on, it's sat overnight, I went in with some DIY white wax and I put the white wax on and then wiped it away, and it just really lightened up that blue so that you can see it a lot better and defined the two different layers of wood matting. So I think it turned out great. Okay, so project number 4 is going to be just a wooden thrifted frame that I got. Just very simple. And so I'm going to use the other side of that decoupage paper to make a little wall decor. So I went ahead and I sanded it a little bit, and then I'm going to use Fusion's Cashmere to go ahead and paint the frame. And then I didn't want to distress it back, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because it has those indentations, those two lines that go around, I'm going to take Fusion's Prairie Sunset. It's a really pretty yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and put it down into those indentations, wipe away the excess over the top so that it looks like it's a distress and it kind of matches the flowers in the decoupage paper. And then once that was done, I thought, I needed just a little bit more. So once everything dried, I went in with some DIY's dark wax, waxed the whole thing, wiped it back, and that gave it the look I was going for. So for the backing, what I did was I had an extra piece of foam board down in my basement, and so I just took a piece of that, cut it down to size, and then painted it with the cashmere to make it match. And then that's what I used to decoupage my florals onto. And to seal it into the frame, you can use hot glue, you can use super glue, regular glue. But I saw Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. She has this super cool little tool that she got off of Amazon. I'm going to try and remember to link it in my description. but it puts out those little metal triangle tabs that hold the frames together, or the picture in it. And I'm telling you what a lifesaver. That thing was super quick. It's like a little hand stapler. You just click it and then it is done. So definitely worth, I think I paid like 25 bucks for it. Instead of trying to glue it in, or trying to hand nail it in or something, it just made it super, super simple. And I'm going to be making my own frames for a lot of wall decor in the store, so that was definitely worth my while and time to buy that. So just thought I would share that with you. See how cool this is? It just makes it so super simple. So the last project for today is my favorite. I got this mirror for a few bucks at a thrift store, cleaned it up, and then took it apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a wall decor. So I'm going to go ahead and take everything out. I'm just screwing in that little holder a little bit tighter. Take everything out, and then I'm going to clean up the glass again really good. Make sure it's completely clean because we are going to be painting the glass. So it was the perfect size for my decoupage paper, the last one in my garden bunny tails. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 coats of raw silk on this, and I'm going to let them dry really well, because with the mirror being so slick, sometimes the paint will move around on you. Even though it seems like it's dry, it can kind of move around. So you want to make sure it's completely dry before going in and decoupaging it on. So I'm going to then, after it's dried, I'm going to go ahead and decoupage my little bunny on there. But I'm also going to paint the frame in raw silk as well. I put 2 coats on there, and then I am going to be sanding back and distressing this, and I absolutely love how this turned out. There's so many cool details in this frame that I knew I had to bring back some of the details with distressing. So let me know, you guys, what your favorite was for today. This is definitely the favorite of mine, and I'm gonna have a hard time selling this, honestly. But I don't have anywhere to put it, which is so sad. And I use my finger sander pretty much on a daily basis when I'm crafting. So this is linked in my description box, and it's an Amazon affiliate link. But this little tool, I tell you what, is so handy and easy to use. Instead of trying to fold the sandpaper, a billion times over, it comes with a whole bunch of extra different sandpapers, different numbers on it, usually from 80 all the way up to 220, I believe. And it just makes me more efficient with my time while I'm crafting. Well, what did you think? I'm curious to know. My favorite out of this bunch was, it's hard to choose because they're super cute. And that, just a little plug here, that redesign decoupage paper that I used is on my website, available now. But I think I love the mirror transformation into a wall picture with the bunny. I just love how distressed it looks, and it's great for spring and maybe even some summer months I can use it. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite was, and next week we will be doing some more thrift flips, and hopefully I will see you then. Take care and have a wonderful weekend, guys. Bye.